What up, Homedawgs? My name is Gokey Gamer, and welcome everybody to week 6 of the NBBL, where in this game the Milwaukee Medichams are going to be taking on none other than Coach Dazzle and the Chien-Pao Chickens. Sorry, I had to find the name of my script. Both of us are coming off of a massive win last week, with us beating Stegosaurus Rex, putting us back in the positives with our win-loss ratio, and Dazzle picking up a very solid win against Minwoo, putting them at 2 wins and 3 losses. However, both of us have got a long way to go before we can get into playoffs, and we are both going to be very much fighting for a win here. Dazzle in particular needs to win all of their games and win them big to have a chance at getting in playoffs, and their first opponent is going to be me. So needless to say, they're going all out versus us. However, that being said, I refuse to lose our own winning momentum here, so let's go ahead and get into the team breakdown. Not gonna lie, Dazzle's team is one of, if not the scariest team I've had to prep for so far this season. Before talking about their team, if y'all missed last week, be sure to check it out if you haven't already. After the battle, I discussed how I traded off his Magius for Brute Bonnet and then made them a Tera Captain instead of a Lumamola. And we now have a Tera Dark, Steel, and Poison types for the rest of the season. With that being said, let's finally talk about the matchup. Dazzle's team isn't just by far the fastest team in the league, it's the fastest team I've ever seen, period. Dazzle's team consists of a Chien-Pao, Meowscarada, Chandelure, Hatterene, Goodra, Clodsire, a Kilowattrel like Tera into an electric, water, or steel type, Cyclizar, a Blaziken that is allowed to have speed boost, a Cramorant that can Tera into a water, ground, and fairy type, and finally a Zangoose that can Tera into a normal, ghost, or fighting type. By far and away, the scariest duo on this team are the 2 fire types Blaziken and Chandelure. If one of these 2 Pokemon show up, then I should be okay, but if both of them show up, we're gonna have a really rough time. The Chien-Pao Meowscarada combo is also extremely terrifying. Unaware Clodsire literally just sits there and eats hits for days, and even something like Tera, Cramorant, and Hatterene could cause me a ton of issues too. In terms of what I think my opponent is bringing, I think Chien-Pao, Meowscarada, Unaware Clodsire, and Blaziken are must-brings, and I also think Chandelure and Tera Ground Cramorant go insanely hard into my team. Needless to say, I am terrified for this matchup, but I've prepped long and hard for this team, and I think I've got as good of a team as I can get for this fight. So let's get into what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. So first of all, the team is actually not Volga the Colossal, but our dedicated lead, Prince the Choice Scarfed Pheasantipity. Prince actually has an interesting EV spread this week, with max HP, enough speed to outspeed both a Jolly Chien-Pao as well as a max speed Scarf Chandelure, and the rest being invested in my special defense to help tank hits from Dazzle's special attackers. His moveset consists of Play Rough, Poison Jab, Lash Out, and U-Turn. Not only do I have coverage for a majority of my opponent's team, but I also have Toxic Chain to hopefully badly poison a Pokemon or 2. This is also not only one of my chippers, but also my anti-sweep Pokemon. As long as Prince is alive, Dazzle won't be able to simply click buttons unless they have a faster Scarfer. Prince is my lead this week simply because if there's an unfavorable matchup against me, I can simply U-turn out into a better matchup. And speaking of U-turning into a better matchup, next up is none other than a staple of the Milwaukee Medichams, Volga the Colossal. With Tera Fire this week, we're rocking the leftovers and the ability Flash Fire to help deal with the 2 opposing fire types, along with max HP and special defense stats. Her moveset is Body Press, Earthquake, Stealth Rocks, and Curse this week. Body Press and Earthquake is extremely powerful against my opponent. If I could set up Rocks, then I could severely weaken Dazzle's team with constant chip, and Curse is there specifically in case I'm able to set up my attack and defense a bit, especially for Blaziken. Unfortunately, Blaziken could have Earthquake, but I didn't want to bring Tera Ghost because if I did, Chandelure could easily sweep my team. That being said, Clodsire also 1v1s this set quite well. So let's talk about my dedicated Clodsire switch-in, Ghostface the Haunter. Yes, you heard that right! Ghostface is my dedicated Clodsire answer. So let me explain. I'm holding the Focus Sash this week with the ability Levitate, I'm rocking the Modest Nature with enough speed to outspeed max speed Chandelure, and the moves Hex, Dazzling Gleam, Will-O-Wisp, and Taunt. Believe it or not, Clodsire doesn't have a reliable way to hit Haunter thanks to Levitate and Quad resisting poison. So the only way Clodsire can actually deal damage to Ghostface is if Dazzle brings something like Heavy Slam or Zen Headbutt, and if that ends up happening, then that means Clodsire is way less likely to be an annoying set that has something like Curse, Recover, and Spikes. The Focus Sash is there for not just in case Clodsire is packing some heat for Haunter, but also is there just in case Chien-Pao or Meowscarada attempt to knock me out with a knockoff or Sucker Punch. Then I can retaliate with a Dazzling Gleam and take them out instead. I'm really hoping Ghostface puts in work this week cause not gonna lie, I'm extremely proud of how this set turned out. Next up after Ghostface is the Pokemon that just joined the team, Swamp Thing the Brute Bonnet. Looking cool with the black glasses this week, we're rocking the Adamant Nature, Max Attack, and Max Special Defense with the Tera Dark type and the moves Crunch, Sucker Punch, Spore, and Synthesis. Last week I kind of hinted at this set during Swamp Thing's introduction, but legitimately Dazzle doesn't have a single switch in for a Tera Dark and Black Glasses boosted Sucker Punch, especially after everything ends up being chipped down. By clicking the Tera button, I also removed my weaknesses Chandelures and Blaziken's fire type attacks, which is also quite ideal. This set, of course, isn't completely perfect, but I still think it's going to put in a crap ton of work in their debut battle. However, Swamp Thing isn't the only one making their debut this week. Finally coming off the bench is none other than I-Beam the Girder. Rocking the Tera Steel typing as well as the Flame Orb, I've also got Guts as my ability with the Max Attack and Near Max Defense with the moves Mach Punch, Knock Off, High Horsepower, and Tera Blast. To be honest with y'all, this set just claims lives. Now granted, the only reason I'd click the Tera Steel button is if Hazarding makes an appearance, but if it does, it definitely does not appreciate a Steel type Tera Blast. Mach Punch priority just absolutely claims lives similar to Swamp Thing's Sucker Punch, so I'm really hoping that I-Beam can be a cleaner in his debut battle. And last up is yet another Pokemon hoping to use its priority moves to his advantage. It is the return of Car the Donphan. Looking for redemption after our disastrous Week 1 performance, this week we've got the Heavy Duty Boots along with the Sturdy ability, the moves Earthquake, Ice Shard, Roar, and Rapid Spin, and Max Attack with enough speed to outspeed Chandelure at +1, as well as Kilowattrel at +2. Earthquake from Donphan has absolutely zero switch-ins, especially if Dazzle's flying types end up clicking the Tera button. And even if they don't, Ice Shard is still going to do a crap ton, especially to Kilowattrel. Roar is there as a backup plan just in case a Pokemon starts getting out of hand, namely something like Cursed Clodsire and the Swords Dance Chien-Pao. And that's the team we've got for Week 6 of the NBBL. I know I spent a lot more time talking about this team than I normally do, but I spent so much time prepping these sets, and there were so many different iterations of this team. There was a Gokey or Pheasantipity set, Miss Magius was on this team before I traded it, and I even thought about bringing Thunder Wave Vikavolt. However, I think these 6 Pokemon, despite them all being below 10 points, minus Donphan at 11 points, all of them have got what it takes to defeat one of the scariest matchups I've experienced with this team. With all that finally finished, I'd say it's about time to plop into the battle. Plop! Plop, and we're back. Oh boy, I am so nervous for this. Good luck, have fun to my opponent as always, and yeah, let's get into it. So my opponent ended up bringing the 6 Pokemon I more or less expected, which is really great considering these were the Pokemon I prepped the most for. Okay, so Chien-Pao, Meowscarada, Clodsire, Hatterene, Cramorant. Okay, this is pretty much the 6 I expected. I am so happy not to see Chandelure. It makes me really wish I had Tera Ghost Colossal now, but we will make it work. I wonder if my opponent is surprised by what I am bringing. So that'll be very, very curious to see as well. And I also forgot to pull up my notes. Whoops. So the Tera will be Cram as well. Actually, low-key, Tera Steel Girder kind of goes hard here. If Cramorant is Tera Fairy, which I'm expecting it to be Tera Ground. I'd be shocked if it was not Tera Ground. I go with my dedicated lead, Prince the Pheasantipity, as my opponent leads Clodsire. While hypothetically this is the worst lead for us, all we gotta do is U-turn out and go into our dedicated switch-in for Clodsire, Ghostface the Haunter. And as we do, Clodsire simply goes for some spikes. Overall annoying, but not the worst thing in the world. And now, it's time to hope our plan works. I go for a Will-O-Wisp as Clodsire goes for a Toxic, which Haunter is immune to. So far, so good. Next up, I fire off a Taunt and pray that my opponent doesn't switch out. Taunt, easiest play of my career. Come on, baby, let's go. Let's go, baby! Yes! Let's go, I'm so happy. I'm so happy this set's actually working out. Holy crap, this is amazing. This is so good. Yes! And thankfully, my opponent takes the bait! Clodsire can't set up her second layer of spikes, and considering we still haven't seen Zed Headbutt yet, there's a very good chance that my plan with Ghostface will actually work. Now here's where things get a bit interesting. I could either go for a Hex, predicting my opponent to stay in, or switch it to something like Blaziken or Cramorant, or I can go for a Dazzling Gleam, predicting either a Meowscarada or a Chien-Pao to come in, both of which will take a massive chunk of damage from the Fairy-type attack. So, I decide to go for the Dazzling Gleam, predicting the Dark-type switch-in. The nice thing about this as well, we now know that it has Spikes and Toxic. Haunter, I'm pretty sure, they would have gone for Zen Headbutt by this point. I'm pretty sure now, yeah, Haunter's a perfect answer into Clodsire, and I am so proud. Meowscarada is going to take a heavy hit too. We love to see it, baby. Let's go! Yes! Look at that damage, though. Look at the damage! And my plan works flawlessly! Meowscarada all of a sudden goes from full HP to next to nothing! Oh my, a Haunter of all Pokemon! I debate about whether I want Ghostface to pick up this KO in exchange for using up my Focus Sash, but I decide against it as I still have an easy switch in with Volga the Colossal. So I swap in Volga, who's forced to take a pretty heavy knockoff and unfortunately loses her leftovers. Had I calculated the damage, I would have learned that this Meowscarada is in fact Choice Bandit, and even possibly Adamant Nature. Worth noting as that could easily get out of hand if I'm not careful. But also because that gives us confirmation that Vezdipity will in fact be able to outspeed and pick up the KO versus Meowscarada in the future. Predicting a possible switch into Cramorant and valuing hazards regardless, I decide to set up my rocks as Meowscarada actually stays in and clicks knockoff once again. Not KOing me, but proving that I will still die on the next hit. And not wanting any of my other mons to lose their item, I decide that Volga must unfortunately be the first death of the match as she falls to the terrifying performing cat. I'll let Volga go down here. I kind of hate doing that. I don't know how I feel about that, but Volga was the only Pokemon that I was like, I need to get rid of this item. And also because the fact that Chandelure isn't here means that Volga can, I'm fine with letting Volga go down here. Even while making this play, I was still very aware that this could really bite me in the future as Blaziken is still very much at full HP and could absolutely destroy me if I let it set up too much. After much deliberation, I decide to switch Prince to Vezdipity back in, as all I need to do here is click a simple U-turn, as I'll either pick up a KO or get a safe switch into something else. Dazzle ends up opting to save Meowscarada for later and sends Clodsire back in, meaning not only do we keep my opponent from knowing we're scarfed, but this also gives me another free switch back into Ghostface the Haunter since it's a perfect wall against Clodsire. But now, here's another dilemma. Dazzle could do three things here. They could opt to go for a Spikes predicting me to go for an attack, switch it to Meowscarada to sack or Chien-Pao predicting a ghost move, or switch it to Cramorant or Blaziken predicting a Dazzling Gleam. I decide to go for the most neutral play, being a Hex, as that deals a lot of damage versus everything and my opponent actually sets up another layer of spikes. Overall, not very ideal. Next, I decide to simply click Hex again and hope for a KO, but then Clodsire barely lives and clicks Recover. Again, not ideal, but not necessarily bad either. The real problem comes here. If I go for a taunt to stop Recover and my opponent switches out, then they essentially get a free switch and pick up a KO versus somebody. If I go for a Hex too many times and my opponent simply clicks Recover, I could lose the 1v1 due to PowerPoint stall. Well, I decide to risk the switch and go for a taunt. Good Recover play as well. That's fine still. Clodsire being weakened down severely, I think now I have to click taunt. They could easily... do I want to predict that though? Or do I want to predict another swap again? Because they know I have taunt. So are they going to go that play? Or are they going... You know what? I'm going to go taunt. I'm just going to taunt here. Make sure that they can't heal up. Okay, good. That was the right play then. Whew, that was a close one. Thankfully, we win that 50-50, and now we can easily click Hex for free as my opponent is forced to switch out. I fire off another Hex for free. I love the fact that Haunter is actually walling Clodsire. That's so good, dude. I'm so happy. Nova, shouts to Nova, by the way, if you're watching this on the watch party. This was the devious set that I was telling you about. This was the set, and I'm so proud of how it came to be. Alright, what are we getting damage on? Blaze. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's so good. Please do like a massive chunk. I need this thing off the field. I need this thing off the field. I literally need this thing off the field. And surprisingly, Blaziken comes in and takes over half of his HP thanks to Rocks damage and Hex. Blaziken coming in here and taking that much damage is massive for us. Oh my god, because this thing could run the game away. That happening was amazing. Meowscarada and Blaziken are severely weakened. Cramorant's gonna have a really hard time, I think, breaking the rest of this team. I am really happy with how this is going so far. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Blaziken goes down. Oh my god, that's such a massive threat out of the way. Holy crap. Okay, that is amazing for us. And since Speed Boost doesn't trigger, that means Ghostface can actually outspeed and pick up a free KO versus the scariest Pokemon on my opponent's team, especially after Volga went down. Let's freaking go, Haunter! Also, let's go Ghostface picking up a KO. Let's go. Against Blaziken, too. Let's go! Yes! This ends up bringing in another really scary Pokemon, Chien-Pao, who actually takes a quarter of HP damage thanks to the rocks. Meaning that Haunter could actually pick up another KO if I so choose to. Chien-Pao's coming. Alright, hold on, I need to see. Oh, damage too from spikes. Holy crap. Okay, hold on. Dazzling Gleam KOs. Can I get rid of this immense threat with that Dazzling Gleam? I mean, yeah, there's no reason for me not to. I can just save the, I think I just go for it. And this time, I decide to let Ghostface go for it! Come on, Ghostface, you've got this! Like, is there a reason? I'm just gonna click it. I'm not gonna think about it. Focus Sash. Do we see a KO here? Whoops. Praise be to Haunter, baby, let's go! I have a roommate here, so I'm trying not to be too loud, but holy crap, this is intense. Yes! Let's go, Haunter! Oh my god, this is amazing! Yes! Yes! Let's freaking go! The Focus Sash came in clutch, and I pick up another extremely critical KO with Ghostface the Haunter of all things! This is going extremely well, as since Clotsire is still alive, Haunter can just simply come in and pick up another KO on pretty much anything at this point. Well, at least everything except what comes in next, Cramorant, who also takes a bunch of damage from the rocks. Now, since I'm modest and sped crept timid Chandelure and Blaziken, I actually don't have enough speed to outspeed a max speed timid Cramorant. So, not wanting to sack off Ghostface yet, I opt to switch Prince back in as Cramorant goes for a defog, getting rid of the rocks on their side of the field, but also getting rid of the spikes on my side, which is a trade I will gladly take. After doing some calcs, I decide to go for a U-turn and hope for a Toxic Chain trigger, which does end up happening, and I switch it to Swamp Thing, the Brute Bonnet, for their debut. Just in case my opponent switches out, I decide to go for a Crunch, and I opt to not Tera, since Hatterene is still alive and Tera's Steel Girder could easily win the game once this Orange Bird goes down. Unfortunately, not only does Cramorant stay in and land a Hurricane, but they also land the 30% Confusion chance, and we hit the 33% chance to hit ourselves in Confusion! Well, that's unfortunate. But not only that, Swamp Thing hits themselves in Confusion again after going for a Sucker Punch, and my opponent manages to land another Hurricane! Why is my Hurricane luck so bad this season? Granted, it's nowhere near as bad as what happened during my Week 2 match, but still! By the way, be sure to check that game out if you haven't already, it's kind of insane. Since Carla Dawnfang is no longer really needed in this game, I decide to switch him in to hopefully finish off Cramorant and possibly even set him to a +1 speed and possibly claim a couple more lives before going down. While Cramorant does opt to finally Tera into a Tera Water type and go for a heavily boosted Surf, I do actually live thanks to Sturdy and fire off a pretty decently heavy hit with a Rapid Spin. Unfortunately, however, Rapid Spin does trigger Cramorant's Gulp Missile, which was set up after the annoying bird used Surf, and it still manages to barely live despite the Toxic Chip. Gosh dang it, man, that was so close! Beauty. Sturdy coming in clutch. We love to see Sturdy coming in clutch with the heavy-duty booties. I mean, granted, the heavy-duty booties didn't do anything here, but you know. Oh, Gulp Missile, though. Dang it. No! Rest in peace. Alright, Cramorant should hopefully die here. It does not. Whoopity-doo. However, this does mean that I actually get a free switch back into Prince, and this time I opt to go for a Poison Jab, since it would KO this and Meowscarada, do a crap ton of damage to Hatterene, and even if it doesn't do a lot to Clotsire, I just simply send in Haunter for free, who picks up a KO against literally every single Pokemon that want to switch in. As a result, Prince is able to finally pick off the annoying Gulping Bird, and now I just have to wait to see what my opponent wants to switch in next. Actually, if Clotsire comes in here, I might switch into Girder, actually. I might do that, actually. Yeah, I think I will switch into Girder if Clotsire... I'm assuming Clotsire is going to come in here. Either that or Meowscarada thinks it's going to be able to do something, and it won't be able to do anything unless it is Scarfed. But yeah, actually, Girder can run away with this game, too. Both Girder and Haunter. If Meowscarada goes down... Haunter runs away with the game, but Girder can also easily run away with the game, too, because Clotsire is chipped down enough. Meowscarada comes in, so we're going to find out if this thing is Scarfed. We are going to find out now if this thing is Scarfed. Please don't be Scarfed. Another KO. Prince the Pheasantipity. Oh my, our poison types are putting in so much work. At this point, Haunter kind of wins. At this point, Haunter kind of wins. And it ends up being none other than Meowscarada. I was able to fully hide my Scarf just enough so that I could pick up a KO versus the final Pokemon that can end this battle. And thankfully, that's exactly what happens. Bro, what if Haunter picks up 2 more KOs? What if Haunter picks up 2 more KOs, dude? What if Haunter picks up 2 more KOs? That'd be crazy. That'd be wild. I mean, Hex doesn't two-shot, so... Or Hex doesn't one-shot, so there's no way that the Hattering doesn't come in, like, or like that Hattering, like, will sweep us. But it's a funny thought. Plus, both of their Pokemon are slower than us, so, like, all 3 of my Pokemon remaining. So, this was definitely a very intense game. Holy crap. Once the Cat Magician goes down, Clodsire comes back in, meaning all I have to do is switch in Haunter as Clodsire recovers, and I have to once again figure out what my next 50-50 should be. I can either click Taunt, predicting Clodsire to go for a Spikes, or I can go for a Hex, predicting Hatterene to come in since Clodsire can't damage Ghostface. I decide to go for a Taunt since even if Hatterene comes back in, that's still really good for me as Hatterene wouldn't be able to set up Calm Mind or Trick Room. And Clodsire actually stayed in, going for a Spikes, which ended up being unsuccessful thanks to the Taunt. From here, I realized that Dazzle could actually just end up sacking Clodsire, and all I have to do is simply click Hex until it dies, and then I can die to Hatterene, bringing in Garter or Pheasantipity to finish the game. Plus, Dazzle knows if they swap into a Hex now, Hatterene is dead, so they kind of have to do this. They kind of have to stay in and just set up Spikes and let this thing go down. Either that, or if they swap into Hatterene, then that's just a free KO for us. Which means regardless, actually, Haunter picks up 3 KOs. Y'all, we live in a society where Haunter picks up 3 KOs. Oh my god, this is insane. Oh, and they do swap. They do have to swap. Please let this be a 2-shot. Please let this be a 2-shot. That'd be so good if this was a 2-shot. I need this to be a 2-shot. Please let this be a 2-shot. Yes! Haunter picking up 2 more KOs. Let's go! Yeah! No way! No way, dude! No way! This is insane! This is absolutely insane! Oh my god! Oh my god! Haunter... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't. No way. No way this happened. Absolutely no way this happened. That Haunter, of all Pokemon on this team, that was meant to just wall this thing, this is the only job, is now sweeping the entire team. There's no way that is what's happening right now. There is no way. Oh my god. That is wild. That's so wild, dude. Oh my god. Or even better, Ghostface picks up 2 more KOs and wins us that game! This means that Ghostface picked up 4 whole KOs in this game alone, and now it's time for both Ogerpon Heartflame and Pheasantipity for kill leader of the team now! Holy crap! As of the time of this recording, Haunter is currently 15th on the entire board of kill leaders after this game, even placing above Pheasantipity and Ogerpon thanks to her kill-death ratio being slightly better. Let's freaking go, Ghostface! I am so sorry, Dazzle. I am so sorry. Wow. The chances of the set actually doing what I really wanted it to do is, like, next to none. But, oh my god. GG's to my opponent, man. Absolutely GG's. Clodsire shook off the taunt a little bit too late, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Oh my god, that's so wild. Let's go, Ghostface the Haunter. Let's go, Ghostface the Haunter. Tying up with Ogerpon. We love that. See it, baby. Yes. For kill leader. Oh my god, that's so crazy. Whew, 3-0. Man, honestly, I was so proud of this set popping off. All I was really expecting Ghostface to do was possibly wall Clodsire or end up just being a sack, but because Ghostface essentially got a free switch in every single time Clodsire hit the field, she was able to basically pick up KOs for free at nearly every time she made an appearance, which was absolutely wild to see. I don't even remember how I came up with the Haunter set. I like literally was like, what can I do to 1v1 Clodsire? And that was my only concern, was trying to 1v1 Clodsire. And then lo and behold, I was like, wait a minute, Haunter has Levitate. You know, does it have anything to hit Haunter with? And it like had Zen Headbutt, it had like Heavy Slam. But I was like, well, is there a reason I don't just run the Focus Sash? And there wasn't, there really wasn't. Because as you can clearly tell, I like just won. Wow, GG's again to my opponent. What a fantastic game. And yeah, no, the moveset was Earthquake, Toxic, Spikes, and Recover. That was the moveset. So, like, Haunter completely walled it. Oh, I might have to change the title, bro. Haunter's already gotten the thumbnail once, but this was definitely worthy of another thumbnail moment. I cannot believe Ghostface the Haunter KO'd 4 Pokemon. That is insanity to me. And Pheasantipity picked up the other 2 KOs too. Like, Brute Bonnet, like, did nothing besides hit itself with Confusion. Girder never hit the field. Donphan chipped down the Cramorant as much as I needed it to. Colossus was critical in setting up the rocks specifically for Chien-Pao. And, yeah, no, wow, holy crap, this was crazy. Blaziken taking so much damage there as well from Haunter was also very, very crucial in this fight. That was, like, the second that that came in and took half, that was, like, game-changing. Absolutely game-changing for us. So, yeah. GG's again to my opponent for a fantastic game, and now we'll pass it on to, the future Gokey reading the script, probably, maybe. This is why your low tier Pokemon can be just as important as your high tiers in Draft League. My high tiers honestly didn't really have a great matchup here, being outsped, outbulked, and outdamaged by Dazzle's team, especially by Meowscarada and Chien-Pao. But my low tiers were able to get the job done and pick up a massive W, putting us extremely high up on the standings. And now all we gotta do is win one more game before securing a place in playoffs. This is absolutely insane! We're now currently 5th in the standings and honestly have quite a big chance to make it even higher. However, that being said, we've still got some really tough opponents ahead of us for these last 2 weeks. Both of the 2 teams ahead of us in differential that also have the same win-loss ratio as us are our last 2 opponents for the regular season, Frosty and Zand. We're really gonna have to step up our game if we want to keep climbing the ranks. But for now, that'll be all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel a ton. Definitely be sure to check out our previous games as well as the SDA if you haven't already, along with my main channel and Nuzlocke channel for more content from me. And as always, I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace out, mates!